All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. And of course, thanks for subscribing. So much drama in the LBC over the last couple of weeks and days trying to get these version 13 videos out to you guys. So many issues, weather issues, corruption issues on the actual files themselves. So I just said, forget it. I'm just going to make a very long video that I'll break into parts, as opposed to trying to shoot the different videos that I already had or trying to reshoot them over again with just bits and pieces of footage that I already had and trying to salvage that. So we've got the latest version 13.2, depending on when you're watching this video, it's probably 13.2.2 or 13.2.3, but just call it 13.2 as the overall build for this video. So we're going to do a quick regression test, follow that back up with a very long drive to New York, Manhattan, and then Brooklyn, which I'll break up into different videos for you guys to see. But in this video, we'll do the regression test and the getting into New York City, which is obviously the more valuable component of traversing New York City, other than just going back and forth. Anybody can do that. The cabs can do it. It's pretty confident in version 12 to be able to do that, minus the small nuances about aggression, assertiveness, getting the proper lanes. We'll see if that's all resolved in version 13, but it's getting in and out that becomes a challenge. So we're going to do that right now. Okay, so basically we've got version 13. We'll start it off from here and we'll start in park so we can get our start from supervised from the curb and do it from there. So I'll hold this to get it started and we'll go. Starting from the curb, this one actually pulls off, so version 13 is great here. I'll recap a lot of what I said in the other videos that you guys never got a chance to see, talking about the smoothness and the competency of this new build in version 13. Coming up to our first turn, still biasing more towards the right side of the lane. Always comes to a full stop, and then it comes up, starts to creep a little bit, has an opening and goes for it. It's going to hit the pothole. There we go. Nothing different here from version 12. For those that don't have it, I know a lot of people in Hardware 3 are still clamoring to get some version of this. But again, overall smoother profile than version 12, more assertive, more confidence, and a lot less steering wheel or steering yoke jitter as a result of it. Second turn coming up, doesn't go over the shoulder, stays nice and poised, nice smooth turn, perfect. That's probably as perfect as it's ever done it before. So this is, again, this is the build. This is the one. This is the one that should definitely go wide. Winding mountain road, nice and smooth. Good distance from the curb here, nice and smooth. Everything is just super smoothed out. So high levels of Uber Black is what I'm getting. But these are going to be sort of my first impressions and retroactive first impressions from the videos that I shot. All right. Good job here on the winding road. No problem. Great job, great poise. Pothole, best it's ever done. Unprotected left right here. Let's see what it does here. Again, biasing a little bit more to the right. Just in general, full stop, clear all the way around. It can go straight through. And it goes. Excellent job there. Super easy for those that are new. We do the regression testing to be super easy to be able to test the nuances between each build. That's how I can tell that it's biasing towards the right of the lane in these situations. Nice smooth slowdown for this person jumping out. Great composure. One of the other things I'm noticing for version 13 is that they've lowered the threshold from 50 mile an hour and over to any mile an hour for the FSD profile. What you see is now in hurry mode on a lower speed limit than 50 miles an hour. So that's great. Okay, it's got hurry max, 35 miles an hour is the max there, just to show you. And shout out to Phil Duan. Hope I'm pronouncing your last name right. Great job responding to my comment about balancing out this icon. I know not a lot of people care about the Model S and Model X, except for us and a few others, but there was an imbalance in the UI here where the icon was still where it was for Auto Max and was not aligned. So he did a great job responding to me on X and making a quick change, even in version 12, to be able to align that the right way. Now we've got great alignment here and great visual balance here for the UI. So shout out to Phil for that. Keep up the great work, team. Excellent job. So far, this is all the hype. Version 13 is all the hype that it says it is for hardware 4. I'm not sure what the sort of compressed version or the compromised version is going to be like for hardware 3. We'll test it when we get it in our hardware 3 car. But for AI 4, hardware 4, it is all the hype. It is all the refinement that we've seen over the years, things that we've been asking for with FSD. It's what it should have been, from the start. But obviously they're taking their time. They're treading in new territory to be able to get here, rebuilding the model, rewriting the model for version 13. And it's phenomenal so far. High levels of confidence, high levels of comfort. And I believe what it's been doing as well is getting the turns right the first time, most of the time. It still does a little bit of course correction for Model S, wider body, wider hips, if you will. Does a little bit of a course correction. I'm happy it still does it, doesn't hit the curb, knock on carbon fiber, but it has been getting the right angle right a lot of times, specifically when we're talking about right turns. Has come close a few times, but nothing to the point where it was going to hit it. So cutting a corner a little close for my taste and my preference, I should say. Okay, I have the cameras up here. We'll definitely pay attention to this as we make our way into New York City. But we want to make sure that, again, the car is staying on the line. One of the issues with version 12, and I'm not sure if they fixed this in early access or not, or addressed it in early access, specifically in this area, is that the car tended to show that it was not over the line, but it would actually be over the line. I don't know what that is. It's a camera calibration issue or what. I've recalibrated my cameras on version 12 several times. It still did it. I'm hoping that's not the case now. Nice smooth slowdown. Perfect. Excellent job. But that was an issue for version 12, and let's see if it persists with version 13. Over the train tracks, nice and smooth. Coming to our final turn, it can turn on red. A little bit of a tight squeeze if it decides to proceed. Good job not trying to proceed. I appreciate the abundance of caution here. I also like the angle in which it's staging this turn, so it's not too wide, so it doesn't have to course correct. So now it should be able to go straight, make the right turn the wheel once without course correcting. Let's see what it does. Goes a little wider, makes the nice smooth turn. Flawless. Flawless turn. All right, and we're gonna have our destination come up here. And I'll do a quick rating, and then we'll jump right into New York City. We will take the regular tunnel just to see how it handles that, the Lincoln tunnel, where it has to funnel in, where it typically struggles trying to funnel in with the level of assertiveness that it needs. It's gonna pull over right here, which is great. I'll stop right here for a second. Okay, so excellent job. Flawless on our regression test path. No major regressions to note. Everything is just infinitely better. It was actually perfect this particular drive. This reminded me of the Elon mode fluke I had way back in, I think, version 11 or something like that, or early version 12, I'm not sure. But this is great. So uber black, solidly uber black in this particular drive with the level of performance here. All right, so let's jump over here to Rockefeller Center, and we're gonna just make our way right from the shoulder, right into the city, 40-minute drive. Let's go ahead and do it right now. Activate from the shoulder and be on our way. Now we're taking a path I've never taken before on camera or off camera with FSD, so I'm not sure how it's gonna do. Full stop here and a median to the left. We have taken this one before. Let's see if it course corrects. No course correction needed. Perfect. The last time it course corrected and phantom brake because the person was walking their dog here. So that's a great, great improvement over the previous iteration. Everything is so smooth. None of the twitching yoke. And here are our right turns. We want to pay attention to our right turns always. Drifts a little bit closer to the right than I would prefer, but I do notice it goes wide when it makes some of these turns. Creeping out for visibility. No need to go wide on this one because we're right there, and it goes. People, pedestrians right here. Woo, evasive maneuver. Great job. Great job. A lot of sun out, a lot of sun glare coming from this angle. Great job avoiding the pedestrians, not freaking out, not coming to a full stop and kind of being the deer in the headlights either. So I think people are still going to have an issue with the full stop that it takes at a stop sign. People wanted to roll the stop sign. I'm perfectly happy with the car taking the safer course of action, which is coming to a full stop at a stop sign. I don't care how busy of a town or city you're in. Coming to a full stop is the right thing to do. And when we talk about unsupervised FSD and you're not paying attention, you definitely want that level of caution. So I'm okay with that. If someone's in a hurry, then they're in a hurry. But it should definitely come to a full stop. If you're impatient, just drive yourself. Don't worry about FSD doing it. But if you want to just take your time, get there safely and relax while you go do something else in an unsupervised mode, then do that. From a supervised perspective, you gotta kind of just have to grin and bear. Great lane centering now as well. Take a look at here, the balance here, as well as the balance up here. You see that there's symmetry for the most part, following a little bit what that car is doing, a little bit more towards the right than the left. You can see here, the gap here is a little there, but that's nitpicking. What's important is that what you see here is reflective of what you see here, which again was the issue before, with sort of the misalignment between being over the line and the visualization showing you that it was not over the line. Super, super comfortable. Very easy to fall asleep when it's riding this well. So definitely be mindful and careful of that. Stroller coming, stroller creeping, gonna wait for the stroller. Good job. And the person running, great job, great etiquette. Then takes the top, see that little adjustment there? Again, it's critically important, Tesla AI team, to have Model S and Model X in your early access releases. I know everything is centered around and based around Model 3 and Model Y, but it's very important because now you start to get those situations where the different form factors matter. And if you catch it early enough, you can course correct and make adjustments like we used to do. But that seems to no longer be the case. But it's definitely important to have those folks in there, those cars in there, and Cybertruck, right? Cybertruck is even bigger, even bulkier. You need to have those in there. You need to test those early with folks that can actually test out, how it handles around those different scenarios. And maybe that's internal or external, but make sure you're capturing that data and incorporating it back into the model so that when you're training, we don't have situations where it's making a turn like it's a Model 3 and then having to course correct because it's a Cybertruck or a Model S or a Model X. As usual, all the details of the car's configuration, the profile, all that stuff is going to be in the description below. little bit of traffic here once we get into the city, but getting into the city seems to be pretty clear right now, which is great timing here. But being able to get through here and get up here is going to be interesting. See how it handles that traffic. That's where the most time-consuming parts are. I'll fast forward past a lot of the boring parts on the highway, just so you can sort of see that in sort of a time lapse versus sitting through it in real time. If you prefer to see it in real time, comment down below. I'll do that for the next video. Keep it in real time. Oh, good timing here. Way to roll through that. Has to get into the easy pass lane. Let's see if it can get there. Yes, it can. Very good. Put my toll tag up. Slowing down nicely, but a little bit more, a little slower could be better. So much improved here. Improvement here for handling toll booths. One being in the correct lane, which is great. Lots of toll booths here in the Northeast. And then more importantly, slowing down to the appropriate speed. It was coming in too hot in version 12. 27 miles, 30 miles an hour. It's supposed to be 15. Slowed down to about 20 this time, which is great. That's still acceptable to the point where you won't get a violation. So I'm okay with that. If it wants to slow down a little bit more, just in case, it could do that. But I think that handled it perfectly. Handled it perfectly. Great job, guys. Great adjustment on the toll booth. Obviously, we'll see when we get to New York. We'll see what that looks like. And apparently people are telling me that I don't need to have my tag up anymore for the toll booth, but we'll see. See if that's the case. Highway end-to-end has always been great. If you're on hardware 3, it's going to be a life changer for you to have the new one. Our hardware 3 car, we had to take a long road trip. I wanted to take this car, had to take the hardware 3 car, and the highway is just not as good. It's just not as good because it's not end-to-end. The end-to-end is a game changer and makes driving on the highway a lot easier, especially for long, monotonous drives. Can't say it enough. Super, super confidence inspiring. And a lot more forgiving of wandering eyes. Now, I mean wandering eyes meaning, hey, I want to, the kids want to stop somewhere. We added, they added features to like search along the route. But as soon as you touch your screen to try to search along the route while en route, it penalizes you a lot. So not great, not a great experience. You need to have some buffer of allowance to know that, hey, this person's pressing the navigation app. So let me give him a little bit more time to do that so he can put his navigation in before I bug him to pay attention to the road. Because you can't stare straight ahead at the road and punch in a new address or search for something on the way. Now, if you have a passenger can do it, but if the passenger's asleep, then you're kind of in trouble. And you got rowdy kids, that's a recipe for disaster. So my suggestion here of Tesla AI is the in-cabin camera needs to be aware of the app that you're modifying. If you're playing with music or if you're playing with the internet or adjusting a video or whatever, maybe a little bit more stringent. But if you are using the navigation in the car to modify your route, you gotta have some leeway to be able to do that. And maybe it's a scenario where, hey, hold the yoke or hold the wheel while you do that, just to be extra cautious, and that's fine. And then when you finish putting in your navigation, whatever, take your hand off and then go back to eye tracking. Maybe something like screen use detected, hold steering wheel or hold yoke. I think that's a fair compromise from a safety perspective. Now you're available to do something because you have your hand on the yoke even though your eyes are not on the road. And then when you get more advanced, then you can say, hey, don't need to have your hand on the yoke, just make your adjustment and be quick about it. Someone coming in hot right here behind us. Great job sneaking in here. Slows down nicely here, now needs to get around. Signaling well. Gets around aggressively, assertively. Very nice. Excellent job here. This is the level of smoothness and assertiveness that you want on a long drive or a highway drive or a monotonous drive, just to get you there safely, comfortably, like a person would. A good person, I should say. Good job biasing for the truck. Great job. Loving that feature. So that's an old school feature for those that are new. Tesla Autopilot used to have something called truck lust, where the sensors on the car that were used for autopilot would see the underside of the truck bed and basically go towards it because nothing was there. It made it seem like nothing was there, and that caused a lot of issues. So that was called truck lust, and they created sort of a truck avoidance mode where now every time it sees a truck, identifies a truck, it biases towards the left or right side of the road to get away from that truck in case the bed sways, trailer sways. Even this garbage truck, see that? Biasing over a little bit, then comes back over and makes its lane change. Super smooth, super comfortable. This is next level. This looks pretty bad. The truck and car is turning, trying to get around a school bus. Car makes a quick decision, gets right in here nice and smoothly. So natural. So natural, but executed even better than a human. Because it doesn't have to look over its shoulder to see if the lane is clear. It can use that 360 vision simultaneously to make a move. That's what I want out of a robotic car, a computerized car, if you will. Utilizing things and being superhuman, not just emulating humans, but being superhuman. Great job biasing for that school bus and just keeping the pace. We're just flowing here on the highway. Not letting anything slow it down in hurry mode. Off camera, I prefer standard, but just for the purposes of getting here a little bit quicker and making the video a little bit shorter, I go hurry mode. And the level of assertiveness that we're gonna need in New York City needs to be in hurry mode. Great job getting back in and being cautious in doing so. It's always, every time you pass a truck, you never know who's on the other side. So it does a great job being cautious of the person potentially coming and doing the exact same maneuver, but from the other side. Great job. Bias for the truck, moves over a little bit. See that? And gets back centered. Keeping a good mile an hour, going to the flow of traffic. Yes, it's above the speed limit, but it's to the flow of traffic. And using the passing lane when necessary. Perfect textbook driving here. A little bit of a flag here for the lane change with no turn signal. I think the sun glare kind of threw it off guard, but definitely should get a check on that one. A little bit of a ding. Just check on the route. Still good. All right. Traffic conditions change, instantly in New York City and spontaneously. So I just want to make sure the tunnel was still clear and everything was still good to go. Or if we need to make a deviation and a detour to our normal scheduled planned route, we can do that. Oh, a little bit of drift here. Good job. Look at the reaction. This guy's playing with his phone, operating this van. Not a good look. Great reaction from FSD. Oh, and I also put the poll out on X for guys who follow on X for whether Tesla should consolidate the brand of Autopilot back to one name in Autopilot versus breaking out FSD for city streets. A lot of people wanted to say keep it as FSD. I thought Autopilot was a good brand. All right, to just say, hey, I'm putting my car on Autopilot and it'll drive me from point A to point B. I feel like FSD is a little on the nose, and depending on where you are, it may not be fully featured. So now you have to put caveats around it versus just saying Autopilot or Autopilot Limited or Basic or Simplified or whatever you want to call it, being the delineation between fully featured versus a limited version. But let me know what you guys think in the comments, if they should go back to that, because they broke it out into FSD because of the features that were not promised, and they didn't want to get sued anymore for not delivering. So they broke it out to say, hey, you got Autopilot, we delivered on that, but these city streets autonomous features, that's going to be called full self-driving. Even the highway now went from like Autopilot to navigate on Autopilot to now being called highway end to end, which is just not great branding. It should just all be called Autopilot, and the core Autopilot should include highway end to end. And if you want to make extra for, pay extra for the full featured Autopilot, which includes city streets, then you pay for that. Let's see if we need to take our detour. Shouldn't have to, but should be good. Slowing, nice and smooth. We're funneling into what's about to be the tunnel, so we'll start to slow down a bit as people start to make their way. Try to get a good time to come in the city, but we'll see. Now it caught me looking. That's okay. Staring too long. But just that amount of time, I could have been changing the direction and it would have gotten me. So I think that camera sensitivity issue is still there. Definitely should take a look at that. All right, so we usually go that way, which is the shorter way. I'm going to go the standard way now that it seems to be a little bit clearer. Truck is there. Lane lines are very faint. It's doing a great job of extrapolating what they are based on its limited vision, or maybe it has better vision because the sun is hitting it. You can't really see the lines, but it's doing a great job keeping up with where the line should be and staying in the lane. So this commute right here is a critical commute where FSD would be worth its money in spades if it can do this consistently in any weather condition, rain, shine, sunshine, or snow. Because thousands of people make this trip daily, catching buses and cabs and rides to the city. So if they had a car that could do it for them, that would be super valuable. It says do not stop. I guess I don't need it. I'm just gonna hold it up just in case. Don't want any extra whatever. 15 miles an hour, great job here. Great job, 15 miles an hour. Turn signal, we're funneling in here. Let's see how it handles this. Probably should have went that way, but let's see how it handles this funnel here. So far it's handling really good. Again, not as much traffic. We'll see once we get into the city, but it's doing a great job here. Getting in. Don't hit the things. Good job. Whew. Close one. All right, good job so far. Surpasses what previous versions have done in this build, so that's great. What I'm paying attention to is the proximity to everything, just to make sure it's not too close. It tends to be a little too close to the edge here, this left edge, for my taste, but I'm just keeping an eye, making sure it keeps the good same lane centering that we saw before is applicable now to these narrow lanes to this tunnel. Keeping a good speed here. They're going way over. It's 35 in this tunnel. They're going way over. It's trying to keep up a little bit with them. Good poise and control. We'll lose GPS signal soon because we're going deep, but so far so good. Outside the tunnel, I have no idea what the traffic condition is, what direction they want us to go in. Car's going to have to try to figure that out on the fly. It's a great test for FSD to see what it can do on the fly coming out of this tunnel. So out of the tunnel, you'll see a little bit of blooming of light going from dark to light. The human eye does it. The cameras do it. So FSD is going to have to make an adjustment and then find its way to where it needs to go. There's our message for poor GPS location accuracy. And we're going a little bit too fast for my taste. I'm going to shift down to standard in hopes of letting it slow down a little bit. My only little intervention, just because I don't want any tickets, because again, 35 is what we're supposed to be at. We're at 48 now. I'll switch back to hurry when we get back out of the tunnel. 44. Oh no, potholes are egregious in here. All right, coming up to the end of the tunnel. Once we get out, I'll jump. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh, come on!
Oh, same problem. Autopilot tried to make an illegal turn or lane change. Now I have to try to figure out where we need to go from here. So that was terrible, just as I expected. And now we have to go to a bit of a detour here. Trying to turn right. Can't quite turn right here. Let's see if it can figure itself out. Can't make that lane change. That's consistent from version 12. I'm sad that they didn't catch this in early access. They should have. But wow. It wasn't going to hit the pylons, but it was going to make the illegal lane change, which I didn't like. And it was getting awfully close to the pylon, so not great. I'll bump back up to hurry, see what it does. So yeah, still not, again, this is the most valuable commute for New York City, not just traversing the city, but getting in and out. And we had no traffic, and it was still trying to make that illegal change. And we went down the middle tunnel versus the other tunnel that we typically go down to, which is the far right tunnel. Just trying to make a long maneuver like everybody else here. Cutting across lanes, very cavalier. Now trying to get in the lane change, car's coming. It's not trying to let them go. Is it gonna wait? All right, I guess it's not even gonna go that direction. So I think it's gonna follow this truck, make a right turn up here. See what happens. Very high curve. Please don't hit that curve. Gee. That's a super high curve. Good job. So these are the sporadic conditions that New York City has to bear and FSD needs to be good at. And again, the value of that commute is the key, not just going through the city. So much improved over the previous iterations, but still a fatal flaw at the end of that tunnel. Tesla definitely needs to fix that. I saw them posting job postings on X for autopilot FSD drivers, test drivers in Michigan and Florida, which is like a little bit laughable that they didn't say here. They want test drivers and set up shop in Michigan and Florida, but not here. I find that quite interesting. Would love for them to just like have a FSD headquarters right in the center of like Times Square, and they just dispatch tons of ADAS drivers all over the place, Cybertrucks, Model S, X, 3, Y, everything, and just go through all throughout the city, all the different boroughs, and just really amp this up to the next level. Like if they took all the ADAS drivers that are everywhere else testing right now and put them in New York City, how much better would it be? That's my thinking. Let me know if you agree. Great job making the turn, course correcting for the truck that was right there. Great job. Almost at our destination. Not the heaviest of traffic, the densest of traffic, which is fine. The video that I did before was in another tunnel. We took the other tunnel. We didn't take this tunnel. And a lot more traffic, but we did a lot of sitting around. So I'm liking that we can be on the move, because then we can go right to our next destination quickly after this. Good job reacting to both the car that's here and that car right there. Cabs tend to drive a lot closer, as you see here. So good job reacting all around and being spatially aware of where everything is. Good job stopping and not blocking the intersection. Great job here. Great etiquette. Ambulance coming behind us. Don't know what it's going to do. It's going to pull over. It's not trying to pull over. Just kind of standing here. And now it's like kind of driving alongside the ambulance, which is not the right thing to do, but. So we got about one more turn to make, and then we're here. And then after this drive, we're going to head out to Brooklyn. Again, that drive is also a very popular, common drive, going from Manhattan to Brooklyn or Brooklyn to Manhattan. People make that commute all the time to get into the city for work. Super valuable to be able to just get in the car, press a button, and get there. So we'll test that out. I think if you own a Model 3 or a Model Y, or S or X or whatever you have that you're doing ride shares with, or if you're like a limousine service with them, I don't think this is gonna be as helpful for you, just because you'll know how to drive a little bit more assertive, a little bit more aggressive, and more importantly, you'll know certain routes to take that maybe the car or the GPS doesn't. So I think you'll still drive. I don't think it's gonna benefit you there. And the speed in which it travels, obviously you'll travel a lot faster. So I don't think it's gonna benefit you guys there just yet. I think in an unsupervised manner, you're going to be in a better position, because you can operate a fleet of unsupervised cars as opposed to just being in your one car, picking people up and dropping people off. I think that's where the value is for those that operate those types of services. Still not trying to block. It's doing the right thing, which is waiting. Truck kind of creeping up. We're doing the right thing by sitting here, waiting for the traffic ahead of us to move so we don't get caught in the intersection here. So that's a great job and great awareness to know when to go and when not to go. And as soon as our lane moves, it'll start to creep up. But if it doesn't move, it'll stay put so as to not block the lane like this truck is about to do. It's going to cut in front of us to try to get around us before the light changes. And that's just not a great maneuver to do, and jams everybody else up as a result of that. Light is red now. This person is going to run it. Look at that. And that is a limousine service. That is a personal driver, or a taxi driver, or an Uber driver, or one of those drivers, car service. And they're doing those types of maneuvers. So like I said, if you're operating one of those in a Tesla, you're going to be doing the same silly stuff as these guys are. So this is not as valuable to you. I am noticing a little bit, I'm not quite sure, a little bit more assertiveness in trying to maintain the distance between the car in front of us. That's what I was asking for last build, is a bumper to bumper mode or inner city mode where it would reduce the distance and increase the assertiveness of the car, just to make sure it gets to its destination without a bunch of cars jumping in front of it. You have to drive here to understand that if you don't understand it, but if you're too passive, it's gonna take you way longer to get to your destination. So I want the car to be a little bit more assertive here, just to get up a little closer to the bumper when moving at slower speeds, bumper to bumper traffic, just to maintain the flow that it needs to maintain to get to its destination sooner rather than later. See that? This is exactly what I'm talking about. That's what people will continually do to you if you don't maintain that good distance. And then it just pushes you further back, adding more cars in your path, delaying your trip by that much time. Truly amazing what the Ubers and Lyfts of the world have done for the economy and society of everybody with their cars being drivers now. It's just amazing. Interested to see how that will be revolutionized with unsupervised FSD and robo-taxis. A little tight squeeze here. Handles it with great confidence, great poise, doesn't freak out. Excellent work. Let's see what we got here. We've got, I guess I'd say 13 minutes to make a right turn, which is kind of crazy. I wonder if there's another way I can go. Maybe if I go this way, it might be better, and also might see how FSD can get over into this lane, what level of assertiveness it has to get over in this lane. Let's see what happens here, and then we'll call it a day. If we get stuck in more traffic, we'll call it a day and go to our next trip, which will be in the next video. Speed camera detected. Little icon there. Sees my turn signal. Oh, this truck is coming. That van is coming. Eesh. Thought about it, didn't do it. Good job. I like that it's kind of hanging out there, still has a signal on, but didn't try to jump the gun on this van, which is great, or that truck. So great awareness again. I would have had to turn around to see most of this if I didn't have the cameras up, just to see the van coming, see if they're coming, keep looking straight, making sure I'm not crashing into the back of this person, about that person. So great job. Now this person next to us is super close. Let's see who does what. Police officer directing traffic. I'm kind of jammed up in this lane. Let's see if he tries to go straight and then make the adjustment. I think it's going to try to do that. The garbage truck is super close. See if the van will let us over. He will not. How will FSD handle it? Can it jump behind the cab? Will the cab let us over? Cab is not letting us over. Oh, there we go. Squeezing itself in. Come on. Good job. A little bit more assertiveness, a little bit more pedal. It's definitely gotten a lot more assertive. It just needs a little bit more assertiveness. Not aggression, but assertiveness, just to get in here, get a little bit more bumper to bumper with this van so we can get further in this lane so as to not block this person. That's what we're looking for with this sort of inner city bumper to bumper mode that it should have. Or it could just have, city awareness. Hey, I'm in New York City, let me drive like this. I'm in Boston, let me drive like this. I'm in California, let me drive like this. Let's see what happens here. Squeeze in, I'll give it a little bit of accelerator just to get it out of the way. Didn't need to, but I just want to make sure everybody knows that we're moving. We're trying to get in this direction. This is the turning lane. Needs to be in here. Good job. We might be taking manual direction from the person here. Let's see what happens. If I can read hand signals now. See, it needs to clear out. There we go. So I'm clearing this lane. This truck is trying to turn too. Let me see if I can get in here. Here's where it's going to make a mistake. See, it's going to tell us to go into the bus lane. Oops, sorry about that. It's trying to go in the bus lane still. This is something that FSD doesn't quite understand with New York City still. It needs to make the turn, but it has to not be in the bus lane, the bus only lane. So I'm just going to intervene here. No big deal. I'm just going to keep it here, take the turn signal off. But otherwise, it would have just trying to go that way in the bus lane, which is where it cannot be going or should not be going. So bus lanes and not crossing in the tunnel are the two issues that it still kind of has in version 13 that it needs to shake. Here are the speed cameras up there that it warned me about. Right here. Speed cameras right there. There they go. Or just cameras in general for either speeding or for congestion pricing or whatever they're going to charge you for driving down this road at this time of day. Another truck is driving down in the bus only lane. All right, so we're still in traffic, so I think we're going to just wrap it up here. Great job for FSD 13. If you have it, you know it. If you didn't get it yet, be excited for it in whatever form it comes in, whether it's hardware 3 or hardware 4. Be excited for it. It is real. The hype is real. It is more refined version of version 12, fixing a lot of the issues that version 12 had to create a more comprehensive and composed driving experience. I want to give it a high Uber Black, high levels of Uber Black. We obviously had a critical takeover for crossing over in the tunnel, which would have gotten me a ticket. So I canceled that. And then obviously the situation where I wanted to turn and access this bus only lane on the turn. So other than that, I did a great job with aggression, confidence, assertiveness in the city so far. Could use a little bit more, but it did a better job than before. But confidence levels were super high. Comfort was very, very comfortable, super comfortable. I could have fallen asleep easy, which I should not do, but definitely comfort, confidence inspiring, great decision making. Again, except to make that turn, that kind of dinged it there, make the turn the tunnel and go in the bus lane. And then safety. I felt safe overall. It would not have hit the pylons. It would have made the lane change beforehand because it saw the pylons when it entered the tunnel. So it recognized them and knows how to evade them. But it would have just tried to make a lane change at the last minute, which is what we should not have been doing. If anything, it should have chosen to get into the far right tunnel. Then it could have made an adjustment to where it needed to go from there. Okay, so otherwise, phenomenal job. The best of the best to date. FSD version 13.2. on hardware 4. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. What you think about this drive and this build. Did I take over too soon? Should I have let it do its thing and make the lane change, illegal lane change in the tunnel? Should I let it go in the bus lane and see if it would have tried to get back over despite those cameras being right there? Let me know. So you see here, there's a little sign that says bus lane, photo enforced. So again, that's what those cameras are there for. So if you're driving in that bus lane like that truck was, it would have snapped a photo and sent you the ticket. I don't want those problems. Okay, but let me know your thoughts in the comments. And until the next time, until the next video, enjoy your day, enjoy your Tesla.